Hello. Hey, guys. Come on in, guys. TEDx fans. I'm talking to all of you guys. How does it feel? If I had you at hello, did I perhaps lose you at guys? Did you even hear it at all? The word guys is ubiquitous. We hear it from friends, from colleagues, most likely the server at your local restaurant. How are we doing tonight, guys? Now that you heard it, how does it feel? Are you one of the guys? Once upon a time, I was one of the guys, and that meant I had made it. Survived engineering school, got a good job in manufacturing, toned down my gender just enough to blend in. I got invited for lunch on Thursdays, drinks after work, one of the guys. Badge of honor. Never dreamed it might lose its luster. But after 2 engineering degrees, 3 manufacturing plants, and 7 pairs of work boots, I started to wonder, what if we didn't have to be one of the guys? Come with me. You don't have to take your boots off. We're in a boardroom at a manufacturing plant with 5 other managers. It's a manpower meeting. And the conversation goes something like this. Yeah, I need 6 more guys to work the furnace this weekend. I got a couple guys. Yep, I'll give you 4 guys. Right, and this problem we're having on line 3 is not going away. Who can we get to take a look? I know a guy. You see what's happening here? The guys get the overtime, the guys solve the problems, the guys come to mind. Now, it's true that most of the time the person who fixes line 3 is a guy, and the people who work the furnace, also guys. But when we throw that word around, it reinforces the expectation that they will, in fact, be guys. The word is a placeholder in our minds, and we expect it to be filled by a man. There is one person in my life who gets an absolutely free pass to call me one of the guys, a farmer. Let's go, you guys, she says. Did you picture a man on a tractor? I'm talking about my mom, a woman in agriculture with 3 daughters. My mom wears work boots. When I was a kid, Mom drove wagons into town at harvest time and lined up at the grain elevator with all the other guys. When I was in high school, she was one of the guys who worked at the local corn milling plant. She will even refer to herself as a guy. I'm not going to be the guy who makes us late. She sounds cool, right? She is. But being one of the guys wasn't her goal. She did what she needed to support farm and family. And you know, it's not like women in agriculture are in the minority. And there have always been women in farming. But have you ever seen a barn that says Janet, Smith, and daughters? I spent a lot of car rides in my childhood peering out the window, hoping to see a barn like that. But I never did. What if we didn't have to be one of the guys? Now, maybe you're thinking, come on, Emily, even the dictionary says guys is gender neutral. You're right, but the senior execs were coming to town and the boss said, let's order new shirts for all the guys. Great. Who doesn't love free swag? But later that day, someone shows up in my office and says, Emily, what size do you want? We talking men's sizes, women's? Where's the size chart? They look at me like I'm an absolute pain in the esophagus. They haven't even thought of it. I want shirts that fit me, not golf shirts with sleeves down to the elbows. And truly, shirts. Shirts are the least of my worries. Have you ever worn a Halloween costume that didn't fit? The eye holes in the mask don't quite line up. The suit is too tight in places and too long in others. You get all dressed up and then you have to pee. When you finally make it out the door, you can't keep up with the neighborhood kids because your boots are so heavy. And when your neighbor holds out that delicious bowl of candy, your gloves are too bulky to pick up those tiny chocolate bars. Yeah, that's only one night a year. Imagine wearing all that ill-fitting stuff at work. Hard hat, safety glasses, respirator, coveralls, work boots, gloves. If it doesn't fit, it's not safe. And yet, in 2022, a CSA survey of Canadian women in industry revealed that at least some of the time, 58% of us are wearing personal protective equipment that is the wrong size. The smaller and curvier sizes are pretty scarce. Of course they are. The template for so many things, from workwear to cars and cell phones, yes, the ones in your hands and your pockets, the template for so many things can be traced back to the measurements of an average military man from the 1950s and 60s. How many of you fit that profile? And yet, that mythical man lives on in the word guys. We think the word guys is gender neutral. We want it to be gender neutral, but it's not. It doesn't prompt our minds to think of the full spectrum of people who could do the job and what we as leaders need to do to keep them safe. So this talk is about safety equipment, but it's more than that. This talk is about engineering, manufacturing, agriculture, but it's bigger than that. Words shape our world. What words are you using? On the flip side of guys, we have words that specifically identify us as women in engineering, women in manufacturing, women in agriculture, in STEM, in construction, in trades. I'm not a big fan of those words either. What does my gender have to do with my job? I never asked to be a woman in engineering. Just wanted to be an engineer. In 2015, I was interviewed for National Engineering Month, and they asked me, Emily, what is your dream for women in engineering in the next 25 years? I said, in 25 years, I hope we can stop talking about being women in engineering and just be great engineers. Can you imagine? How great would it be to finally get somewhere close to gender parity, to be able to stop talking about underrepresentation, pay gaps, lack of advancement, inferior safety gear? We have a long way to go. Can you believe the percentage of Canadian engineers that are women is less than 15%? Less than 15%. What would that number be if we didn't have to be one of the guys? Do we have any Survivor fans in the house today? Yeah, that show has been on TV for a generation. What a study in human behavior. If you watch the show, you'll know that at the start of every challenge, Jeff hollers, "Come on in, guys." Well, he did. But in 2021, Jeff dropped the word guys, and now he simply says, "Come on in." That's the easiest idea I have for you today. just drop it. It doesn't add anything. And sometimes it divides. Our words shape our world. So choosing our words can change our world. What if we didn't have to be one of the guys? Now, I could end my talk right here, but we need to go a step further, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen? Can we drop that too? I mean, I want better options. Either act like a lady or take it like a man. And the 2021 census tells us that 1 in 300 Canadians is trans or non-binary. You know, that's more than twice the number of Canadians who are women in engineering. So whether we're addressing a boardroom, a ballroom, or simply writing an email, we can do better than guys, and we can do better than ladies and gentlemen. Just drop it. Oh, how are you doing with singular they? That can be tricky in conversation, and some people will argue that singular they is ungrammatical. Did you know that singular you was once considered ungrammatical? Yeah. And if we had held on to that, we'd still be saying thee and thou and thy. Art thou ready for change? Earlier I said the dictionary says guys is gender neutral. And a lot of us think that the dictionary is the authority on language, a book of rules to be followed, how to spell things, how to pronounce things, what they mean. I thought so too, until about age 40. Turns out there's no such thing as the dictionary. There are many. We know this if we stop to think about it. And also, dictionaries don't dictate. Dictionaries reflect the way you and I speak and write. That's how we got co-working, crowdfunding, staycation, and selfie. They didn't fall from the sky. Somebody made them up. OMG, am I right? The dictionary's not in charge. We're in charge. Gretchen McCulloch, author of Because Internet, says language is humanity's most spectacular open source project. Language is like Wikipedia. Art thou ready to contribute? Many years ago, friends asked me to be the legal guardian of their child. If both parents died, I would be responsible for raising this child. We were close. I played and babysat and bought birthday presents, and I called her my girl, the way my dad had referred to me when I was small. At age 18, they changed their name and pronouns. Turns out I had been misgendering this wonderful human being every time I called them my girl. So we do our best, and we learn as we go. And this word is nibbling, rhymes with sibling. It's not in all the dictionaries yet, but maybe we can change that. This is a gender-neutral word to describe the kiddos we typically call nieces and nephews. I just love this word. And can we expand it beyond our families to include all the kiddos we love as if they're family? Let's let the next generation grow up to be exactly who they are. What if they don't have to be one of the guys? Now a word for the men in our lives. Guys, we need you. We all need to do this work, but your efforts will have the most impact. New research that came out just last month gives me so much hope. Survey says, guys get it. You get the business case, the moral case, all the good reasons to go to bat for women. But there's a gap between knowing and doing. You know why you should go to bat, but a lot of you are stuck in the dugout? What if you start with your words? Do you know a guy, or do you know someone who can solve the problem? Let your words be an example for others to follow. And if by chance someone asks you to choose different words, you're not being called out. You're being called in to the game. We can't do this without you. Your words shape our world. And look, we're all going to make mistakes. There's a chance that something I said here today wasn't the best choice of words, and that's okay. Let's reserve the right to be smarter tomorrow than we are today. Speaking of, I'll even show you a mistake. Remember when I quoted myself in 2015? You see there where it says all genders? Yeah, in 2015 I said both genders. We learn as we go. And your words aren't just yours, you know. They get picked up by the people around you and repeated in places you're not even present, especially if you have kiddos or nibblings. Words shape our world. In every conversation, we have a choice, either to fall into the language patterns of those people around us or deliberately choose our own words. So let's choose. Let's choose words that open minds and open doors to the full spectrum of people who can and will be engineers, manufacturing leaders, farmers. What if we didn't have to be one of the guys? I've been one of the guys for decades. Sometimes it's just easier that way. But what the dream looks like, what I truly want, folks, is 6 awesome people to work the furnace this weekend, a technician to look at line 3, and will one of you keep an eye out for the delivery driver? Our new shirts are arriving today, and mine is going to fit like a glove that actually fits. Words shape our world. Thank you.